Imagine marching through a quiet valley at sunrise, believing the enemy is far away. Suddenly, war horns echo from the hills. Arrows rain from above. Thousands of soldiers appear out of the morning fog from every direction. There is nowhere to run. In just a few terrifying hours, one of the greatest armies in the ancient world is destroyed. This is the incredible true story of the Battle of Lake Trasimene, one of the largest and most successful military ambushes in history. In 217 BC, the mighty Roman Republic was fighting for survival against one extraordinary man, Hannibal Barca of Carthage. Just a year earlier, Hannibal had shocked the world by leading his army, including war elephants, across the snow-covered Alps. Against all odds, he invaded Italy and defeated Roman forces at the Battle of the Trebia. Rome was furious. The Senate believed that sending an even larger army would crush Hannibal once and for all. They appointed consul Gaius Flaminius, an ambitious and confident commander, to hunt down the Carthaginian army. But Hannibal had no intention of fighting on Roman terms. He understood something that many generals ignored. Victory wasn't always about having the biggest army, it was about controlling the battlefield. Hannibal searched for the perfect location where his enemy's numbers would become useless. He found it beside Lake Trasimene in central Italy. The landscape was ideal for an ambush. A narrow road ran between the lake and steep wooded hills. Thick morning fog often covered the area, making it difficult to see. Anyone marching through the valley would be trapped with almost no room to maneuver. Hannibal immediately recognized the opportunity. During the night, his soldiers quietly climbed the surrounding hills. His strongest infantry hid behind ridges. His cavalry waited to block the exits. Light infantry and spear throwers concealed themselves in the forests. Every unit knew exactly when to attack. It was one of the most carefully planned ambushes in military history. The next morning, the Roman army marched forward. Flaminius believed Hannibal was retreating and thought he had finally caught his enemy. Without sending enough scouts ahead or properly examining the terrain, the Roman columns entered the narrow valley. The fog grew thicker. The soldiers could barely see a few meters ahead. The long Roman column stretched for miles, separated into different groups that couldn't easily communicate. This was exactly what Hannibal had been waiting for. At his signal, trumpets echoed through the hills. Suddenly, Carthaginian warriors burst from every direction. Spears flew from the forests. Infantry charged down the slopes. Cavalry sealed the escape routes. The Romans had no time to form their famous battle lines. Many soldiers were still marching when they were attacked. Officers couldn't even understand where the enemy was coming from. Confusion turned into panic. Some Roman soldiers fought desperately, surrounded on all sides. Others were pushed toward the lake. Heavy armor made swimming nearly impossible. Many drowned while trying to escape across the water. Consul Flaminius tried to rally his men, encouraging them to stand and fight. But amid the chaos, he was surrounded and killed by Carthaginian warriors. With their commander dead, Roman resistance collapsed. For several hours, the battle became a massacre. Thousands of Romans were cut down where they stood. Entire units disappeared before they could even organize. Another force arriving behind the main army walked directly into the disaster without realizing what had happened. By the end of the day, around 15,000 Roman soldiers had been killed, while thousands more were captured. Hannibal's own losses were remarkably small compared to the devastating defeat he inflicted. The Battle of Lake Trasimene became one of the largest successful ambushes ever recorded. News of the disaster reached Rome like a thunderbolt. Citizens panicked, fearing Hannibal would march directly on the capital. Instead of launching another reckless attack, Rome appointed Quintus Fabius Maximus as dictator. Fabius understood that defeating Hannibal in open battle was nearly impossible. Rather than confronting him directly, he avoided major battles, harassed Hannibal's supply lines, and slowly wore down his army. This cautious strategy later became famous as the Fabian strategy, and is still studied by military leaders today. Yet many Romans hated avoiding battle. They demanded another decisive victory. The result was the even more catastrophic Battle of Cannae the following year, where Hannibal destroyed another massive Roman army. Although Hannibal won brilliant victories at Trebia, Lake Trasimene, and Cannae, he never captured Rome itself. The Romans refused to surrender. They rebuilt their armies again and again, slowly turning the war in their favor. Years later, the Roman general Scipio Africanus invaded North Africa, forcing Hannibal to return home. In 202 BC, at the Battle of Zama, Hannibal was finally defeated, ending Carthage's greatest challenge to Roman power. Even so, the Battle of Lake Trasimene remains legendary. Military academies around the world still study Hannibal's masterful use of terrain, deception, timing, and surprise. His victory proved that intelligence, planning, and understanding the battlefield could overcome even a stronger opponent. More than 2,200 years later, the quiet shores of Lake Trasimene still hide the memory of that foggy morning when one brilliant commander turned an ordinary valley into one of history's greatest military traps.